Hello everyone, this is Professor Maloney, and today I'm going to be demonstrating 32 tasks at the MindTap site for this CGS 1060 class during summer term A at the Homestead campus. This is the Excel module, and there are 4 modules of Excel training that you're responsible for as part of this part of the class. There's a total of about 133 tasks, maybe 135 tasks, something like that. So remember, Windows 10, there were 21 tasks. Word, there were 126 tasks. And now with Excel, about 133 or 135, something like that. And then Access, there'll be even more. And PowerPoint, there'll be even more. Your test for Excel, you'll have between 25, 30, or 35 tasks. But obviously, you need to know all of them to be prepared for the test. And I'm demonstrating the first 8 tasks for each module. Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. All right, so let's go on over and let's get started. All right, so here we go. I'll go over to our class. Make sure I'm in your class. I am. I'm going to shoot it start here. Now, Excel will not be, actually Excel is available for you as of tomorrow. You note right here as I hover on my date, it's May the 18th right now. So at 12 a.m. tomorrow morning, which means in about 13 hours and 24 minutes, this meaning Excel will be available for you guys. You see it unlocks May 19 at 12 a.m. All right, so here I go. I'm going to demonstrate these. By the way, I'm also going to have an Excel overview video because Excel is so different, and I want you to understand Excel in general, in addition to obviously what you have to study for this class. All right, so I'm going to start here, and again, I'm going to try to remember to count the tasks. So there are 38 tasks, okay? And as always, we're operating in a virtual machine, so we're in a pop-up. And you need to enable pop-ups on your machine. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'll just use the large mode and just try to remember that from the large mode. I got to shut it down from up there. All right, so center the contents of cell C3 horizontally. All right, so here is column C, and here's row 3. So cell C3 is this one, okay? If you click on a cell, here I'm clicking on a cell, clicking on a cell, clicking on a cell. Anytime you're in a cell, this thing up here is called the name box, and it tells you what cell you're in. So right now I'm in column B, row 6, so I'm in cell B6. Again, they said C3. So here is C, and here is 3. So here is C3. And you check, all right? So center the contents horizontally. Well, here's the horizontal, right? So right here, so you just click that, done. All right. Now, next one says hide the grid lines in the current worksheet. So grid lines are all these lines you see in this Excel file. Click here, there are grid lines all around it. So there's a top border, bottom border, left border, right border, but they're called grid lines. Okay, so all these things, they're saying they want to hide all these grid lines. So to hide something, you go to this view menu. Okay, so here's view, and over here you see grid lines. Now, you know it's going to go very quickly to the next task, which will be task 3. So right when I click this grid lines, which means deselected or take the check mark away, when I take the check mark away, then the lines will go. But you have to look very quickly to notice it. So here it goes. Boom, gone. Okay. All right. Now, task 3. Use the tell me box. All right, so remember the tell me box, there was a task in Word that they asked, and there may have been 2 or 3 tasks, but either way, there was at least one that I demonstrated where they asked us to use the tell me box. Okay, so here's the tell me box up here. Tell me what you want to do. So here they're saying use the tell me box to change the fill color of cells in the range B4 to D4. So when you see something like this in Excel, B4 colon D4 means from B4 through D4. And they want us to change that fill color to black text 1, and they tell us it's in the theme colors, top row, second option. So first thing is to note that you must first select the range before you can do something. All right, so they're saying B4 to D4. So here's column B, here's row 4, so here's B4. But they're saying colon D4, which again I said means through. So they want B4, so click it and then drag to the right once. That's now C4 as well. Again, that's now D4. And you'll see a green border underneath B4. You see the same green border under C4 and the same green border under D4. You also see the same green border on the left of B and on the right of D4, and on the top of D, C, and B4. You don't see the borders on between B and C and between C and D, but they are there. That's just because, of course, there's colors and stuff in there. But anyway, so first you select it, and now we just type what they tell us to type. They always tell you either with double quotes or by using a dark, like a fill color or background color here. So fill color. So basically, I'm going to go to the tell me and now type fill color the way they did. Capital F and then capital C with a space. And they're saying fill color. So here's fill color right here. All right. And what do they want us to do? They want us to change the fill color. So click right here. And here is the fill colors. And they said the top row, second option in theme colors, and it's black text 1. So this is the top row. This is the second option. Hover on that, black text 1. So click it, it's done. All right. All right. Number 4. Boy, this one, you'll love these because they're as simple as they get. Select cell D22 literally means there's the D column, there's the 22 row. So again, like we're 20, oops, it's going to be incorrect, of course, because I did what's not right. But so the 22nd row is still selected by that. And you see they want me to be in D. There's the D. I won't click it this time. So that's D. And this is 22. So if I do click it, I'm in D22 in the name box, and it says it's complete. All right. All right. Now in cell J5, so here's J, here's 5. So I'm in J5, check the name box. They're saying enter the value 77112 as text using the keyboard or the keypad. So when you enter something in Excel, if it's a number, and technically this is a number, right? 77112 is a number. So if you enter a number, then it's a value, it's a number. But if sometimes they want us to use things as text, because Excel is used to put a lot of text, but it's primarily used to do calculations and to do things with numbers. So when they want us to use a number as text, we have to precede the number with a single quote mark. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is go to J5, which is where they told me to be, and click that single quote mark. The single quote mark is, if you're looking at your keyboard, it's the first button to the left of the enter button. You'll see a double quote on the top of it, a single quote, meaning a single little mark on the bottom, a double mark on the top of that button. To get to the double, you have to hold the shift, but we don't want the shift. We want the single quote mark. So just put a single quote mark, and that's what it then looks like, what I just typed over, what I just typed. And so if I select that now, it'd be hard to see. Let's see if I can make this, I don't think I can make this bigger. But anyway, that's the quote mark, and then type 77112. And now when I enter, it'll take that. Okay, so it's done the way they wanted it, as text. All right. Now we're doing the same little easy thing, but this time we're entering the number as a number because they're not saying enter it as text. So here we just type 491. And in this case, it's not the text 491, it's the number 491. All right, so go to cell D6, okay, and type 491. That's a number. Done. All right, that was number 6. So we have 2 to go for this module. Number 7, in cell B16. So here's cell B16. Again, there's the B, there's the 16. So where they match, and check the name box, it says B16. Create a formula using the sum function to total the values in the range B4 to B15. So they want us to get the total of all these numbers and put that total right here. Okay, so that's a big formula, right? I mean, it's easy, but it's a big calculation. But we're not doing it. Excel's going to do it for us. So down here, we type the equal sign. Anytime you do a formula in Excel, it starts with the equal sign. And then if they type something like this, that means it's a function. And if they use the word function after something, that means the word before it was a function. And that means you also have to type it. So you have to type equal SUM. Now, even though they type this in large caps, the functions in Excel can be typed in small or large. You'll never miss anything on the test or in any training exercises where you're typing a function as lowercase or mixed case or uppercase. Okay. All right. So type equal sum. And if you use a function, and again, if you do, it'll have the word function in it. All right. So after you finish typing the function, you need to type an open parenthesis. So it's equal sum. And this is, of course, SUM sum, meaning the sum of something, the total of something. And then an open parenthesis. And then we type in this range. You can type B4 colon B15, but the easiest way to do it is click on B4, which is here, and just drag down. Keep your left mouse button depressed and drag down to B15. See? So that says this is called the formula bar up here. So equal sum, open parenthesis, B4 colon B15. And because we have the open parenthesis, we now need to close that parenthesis. And then we enter. And then what you're going to see down here in cell B16 is that total. You only see it for a second though, remember, because we're going to be moving to the next task. But it'll be obviously, let's see, 51, 71, 77, 83, 113, 133, 139, 171, 195, 225, 250, 279, 294, 306. And if we just pretend there's about 6 here, we'll say 306 and 6. So somewhere about 312,000. It'll actually be a little less than that. 300. Okay. So 300,410. All right. Anyway, so that's that one. And this will be the last one I do for module 1 training. And of course, remember, you have the observe and you have the practice. And in all likelihood, I'll do at least 1 or 2 or 3 of those, between now and the end of doing the 8 tasks in module 2, 3, and 4 after this. All right, so, but remember, I am on the apply mode and you must be as well. All right, so here, use the fill handle to copy the formula in cell B7 to cells C7 and D7. So first is, we got to go to where they tell us to go. So B7, so here's B, here's 7. So click right there. Now, when you click there, look the name box. It says, yes, you're in B7. Then you look in the formula bar to see if there's a formula there. There is. So they're saying they want us to copy this formula, that formula, to cells C7 and D7. Well, C7 is here and D7 is here. Okay? There's nothing in those boxes, but when I take this thing here, it's called the fill handle. So when you look at the cell, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little green square, little tiny green square. When you're on top of it, you see this thin black plus sign. Okay, like you don't see it now, but when you get close to it, like right there, technically it's on it, but I like to tell you to get right on it. All right, so get on that, and then you click it and drag it to the right. So this puts that formula in C7, and then keep the left mouse button down over here to D7. And now when I release it, you're going to see 2 answers pop up in C7 and D7. Boom, boom. Okay. All right. So I did the first 8 for module 1. Now I'll close that one down. Remember there was, shoot, I already forget. I think it was 38. Okay. So now I'm going to go to module 2, training. Start. So it was 38, now there's 23. So 38 and 20 is 58 and 3 is 61. So about 61 here. I'll enlarge it again. So now they're saying wrap the text in cell A6 so that all the text is visible in the cell. So first thing is click in cell A6. So here's column A, here's row 6, so here's A6. Now you see it says Anderson Wireless CO something, okay? But look in the formula bar. Formula bar tells you if there's a formula, but it also tells you if there's text. So in that box, there's officially Anderson Wireless Communications. We can't see the the MMUNICATIONS part. We can only see Anderson Wireless CO and what looks like either a M or N. But all we got to do to wrap the text is look up here in our ribbon, in the home tab, which is where we are. And this thing here says wrap text. So when I click it, then this cell height, the row height, I should say, will be large, and the text communications will then be under Anderson Wireless. Watch, wrap text. Boom. See over there, it's now all three of those words are visible. All right. Now, use flash fill to fill range E4 to E15. So here's E4 to E15, those cells, after typing in E4. So first I'm going to start E4, but they're saying we're going to be doing something with all these cells here. All right. So first though, use flash fill to fill the range after typing curtis.g at rockland.com in cell E4. So after typing that, and I guess typing Sal in cell E5. All right, so in E4, and it says email address, obviously. So you got to type it. Here you do need to use capitals when they use capitals. So Curtis with a capital C dot G, capital G, at rockland.com. Now it says after typing that. So because they want that in E4 and then they want Sal in E5, I'm just going to enter. Okay, so now it took it, and now I'm in E5. Here's E, here's 5. And again, look in the name box, E5. And they say here, just type Sal with a capital S. Sal. Look, I didn't have to type Sal, I just typed SA. And you see it's all done, and it went all the way to E15. So now I just enter. Okay, so that's called flash fill. So Excel is really cool about doing lots of things for us. Again, watch the overview, the Excel overview video I did. It has a lot of examples of good stuff like that. All right, enter a formula using arithmetic operators and parentheses in cell B14. So here's B14, okay, that adds the monthly expenses in cells B9, B10, and B11. So here is B9, B10, and B11. So those things there we're going to add, but they said go down to B14. So in B14, I'm going to add up B9, B10, and B11, and then multiply that result by 12. That's why they said parentheses. Okay, so basically, I have to do an equal sign, okay? And you have to always do the formula the way they tell you to. So remember, they didn't use that term function. So I can't type equal sum or equal any other function, okay? So they're just saying using arithmetic operators. So it starts with equal and parentheses. So they want parentheses. And the reason we use parentheses is because we want to add these three numbers up. So we want to add B9 to B10 and to B11, add them up. So in other words, it'll be 15 and 6 is 21, 21, 6, 21, 6, 40, okay, in parentheses. And then we're going to close the parentheses, and then we're going to multiply that times 12, okay? So I'll just click here and go to here like that. So that, okay? So equal open B9 colon B11. Remember, that means B9 through B11. And then multiplication in Excel is the asterisk sign. So asterisk, and they say multiply it by 12. So type 12, enter. Okay, they didn't want me to do it that way. Oh, that's right, because they did want me to actually do the arithmetic stuff. Okay, so they want me to do it this way. So equal sum, oh, sorry, no, equal sum, they didn't want sum, equal. So you can point and click like this, B9, and then type a plus, and then click on B10, and then type a plus, and then click on B11, okay, and then close the parentheses. Or you could just have typed equal, but you need to open parentheses, B9 plus B10 plus B11. It's easier if you point and click, all right? Now they want us to multiply, so again, the asterisk and the number 12, all right? So the only difference between this way and the way I first did it is the way I first did it, it automatically does that calculation. And the calculation, by the way, was right. But they said, though, they wanted the arithmetic operator. So they wanted to see the word, the plus signs. And the time, of course, the times was already shown, the multiplication. So enter that. All right, that's number 3. Number 4. In cell B19, so let's go to B and 19 right here. So again, this is the B column. This is the 19 row, and they want us where they match. B19, look in the name box. All right, create a formula by entering cell references. so again, cell references, meaning not a function, that subtracts B6 from B5 and then subtracts B18. So here we don't need parentheses because it's all subtraction. So it's just, you always start with the equal sign, okay? So equal, and they said subtracts B6 from B5. That means you start with B5. So equal B, I'll just type B, so B5, and with cell references, it's like with those functions that I mentioned, you can type them in small letters or big, but either way, it's right. It doesn't matter. So equal B5 minus B6. Why did I do it that way? Because it said it subtracts B6 from B5. So if B6 is subtracted from B5, you say equal B5 minus B6, and then subtracts B18. So then minus, and then this time I'll click on B18 that way and enter. Done. All right, number 5. In cell D19, so here's D, here's 19, create a formula. Here they're saying a function, using the count function to count the number of values in the range D5 to D18. What this means is they don't want to know the total, like they don't want 11 and 10 is 21 and 9 is 30 and 9 is 39, etc. They want to know that this is 1 cell, this is 2 cells, this is 3 cells, and then count all of them. So obviously, if you go from 5 to 14, that's going to be 10. So 15, 16, 17, 18, it should be about 14. So you go here though, right? They said in D19, and you're using the function. So you have to type equal. And I said when you use equal, you don't need to type it in big. You can just type, you can, but you don't need to. So equal count, and then an open parenthesis. Every time you use a function, you must have an open parenthesis after it, okay? And now I'm going to click here in D5 and drag down to D18, which means equal count, open parenthesis, D5 through D18. In other words, D5 plus D6 plus D7 plus D8 plus D9. So you can do all that silly stuff, the arithmetic whatevers, but this is the quicker and better way, all right? And then you close your parentheses. So close the parentheses and enter. Done. All right, now number 6. And remember, I'm only on module 2 training. In cell F19, so here F and here 19, right here, okay? Verifying the name box, I'm in F19. Create a formula using the count A function that counts the number of cells that are not empty. Okay. So in this, wherever we were before, we were counting all the values in the cell. Not the values, sorry, but the number of cells that had values, but every cell would count even if they didn't have a value. In this one, they're saying, do not count empty cells. And that's what the A means on the end of the count. So here again, you start with the equal. So equal count A, okay, and then open parentheses. But now when I click from F5 through F18 this way, okay, this one won't count. This one meaning F9. This one won't count. This one meaning F15. This one won't count, meaning F17. So 3 will not count because they're empty, okay? But they're not adding phone numbers. They're just how many cells have something in it, and the answer is whatever I said, 14. So enter that, and the answer, oh, why is it 11? What did I say? Oh, okay, this one, the range was obviously less. Yeah, B4 to B15. So it was 10 and 1, 11. All right, anyway. So that was, sorry, that was the previous task. But either way, I did it correctly. All right, so this one, for range B4 to B15, so here's B4 down to B15, create a new conditional formatting rule that formats the top 5 values in the range with a blue accent 5 cell background color, which is the 9th column, 1st row in the background color palette. Yada, yada, yada. All right, so what this wants is, first of all, in this kind, you have to do the range first for sure. So just click in cell B4, drag down to B15. So we've done that. Now we're creating a conditional formatting rule. So from the Home tab, if you look in the ribbon, this is the ribbon, over here you see conditional formatting. So I'm going to click the down arrow, move this down, okay? So the down arrow, and they want a top 5 values rule. Well, so we don't want highlight cells. Here's top. That's what we want, top bottom rules. So, but we don't want top 10. We want top 5. So we don't want top 10%. We don't want bottom 10. We don't want bottom 10%. We don't want above average. We don't want below average. We want some, okay, more rules. So we want something else. So top, bottom, and then click more rules. And now let's see what our choices are. Okay, format values that rank in the top 10, but we want top 5. So change the 10 to a 5. Okay, we don't want a percent. We want the actual top 5 values. So we don't check this thing. We just leave it as top 5. And now we want to format it. So you click the format button. See over here. All right, so here's the format choices. We want formats, the top 5 values. Background. Background means fill. So we want to fill, okay? And then here is where we want this 9th column, first row. So first row is up here. 9th column, we just count. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it says blue accent 5. So hover while it's saying it, and it says blue accent 5, so click it. Okay, see blue accent 5, and then you say OK, and then you come back here and say OK again. Done. All right, so this is now number 8 in the second training. All right, apply the Berlin theme to the current workbook. So, and of course, we did a lot of these things in Word too, but this right now is not a big deal for Excel. But so let's see, apply the Berlin theme to the current workbook. Okay, so we have to go to page layout. Okay, page layout, and here's themes. So click themes. Row 4, column 2. So row 1, 2, 3, 4, and column 2, this one. And you hover, it says Berlin, and this applies it to the whole workbook. And it changed the, you know, the formatting. All right, so that was 8. So now I'm done with this one. Okay, so that. All right, get out of that one. So let's see, if I recall that we were at 61. I think it was 38 and 23. 38 for module 1 training, 23 tasks for module 2 training. Now I'm going to go to module 3. Module 3. So 61 plus, let's see how many are here, 44. So 60 and 40 is 100. 1 and 4 is 5. So 105 total tasks that you guys are responsible for so far, but we haven't gotten to module 4 yet. All right, so again, I'm going to do the first 8. All right, let's see. Rotate the contents of the cells in range A3 to D3, meaning A3 through D3, to exactly 45 degrees. All right, so here A, here 3. All right, so this is A3, you can see by the name box. So you click A3 with your left mouse button and drag to the right to get to C3. All right, oh, D3, sorry. So let's go back here. So there to D3, all right? So we've selected those 4. You can see the green border on the top all the way through D, the right border on the between D and E, which means at the end of D, and the bottom border underneath row 3 all the way across, all right? And on the left of row 3. Okay, so now we want to rotate the cell of the contents to exactly 45 degrees. So that's this thing here. It's called orientation. Again, we're still in the home tab, orientation, all right? So you click the down arrow, and they want it to be orientation arc. So this is the orientation arc. Okay, so I'm going to click that. They don't want us to use that. All right, that's fine. But it is in there. So we'll go here again, but the down arrow. So they're going to say maybe this one, format cell alignment. Yeah. So we want to be at this 45 degree mark. This is the 45 degree mark. Some of you are probably pretty good with, geometry and algebra and stuff where you use those kinds of things. Like if you were talking about a circle, this is the 90 degree, then this is the 180 degree. So and this is of course only a half circle. So if we had the other half, this would then be 180 and 90. We'd be at 270. And then the top, or the 0, would also be 360. All right. So halfway between 0 and 90 is 45. So this is 45 right there. See, if I click it, it tells me I'm at 45 degrees. All right. So say OK. Done. All right. So I have done 1 in module 3. Align the contents of cell B4 vertically using the bottom align option. So I got to click in B4. So B4. All right. So you look at the contents in B4. Company name is obviously aligned at the top. Okay. You can't compare to this one next to it on the left because it's using both, like it's using, it's like it's using two rows because the information can't fit. Over here, look at email address instead. See, that's bottom of line. Phone, that's bottom of line. Street, city. Okay, all these are bottom of line. This one, company name, should also be bottom of line. So that's all they want us to do. So here's the alignment. Okay, so this one here is top of line, and that's what this one's on. The next one is middle of line. Okay, and then the next one is bottom of line. So when I click this, company name will be on the bottom. Right, so that done. All right, number 3, but we have a long way to go, and I haven't done that much. All right. Use the autofill feature to fill the range A4 to A15 with the names of the months in chronological order, starting with January in cell A4. This is also something I demonstrated in my Excel overview video. And Excel is really cool when it's things that are non-calculations related. So like I'm going to type January in A4. So here's A, here's 4. Okay, they want me to type January. As long as you type January correctly. Now, for some of you, that may be a challenge. I mean, for me, it's a challenge, so don't worry. So anyway, that I want to now copy that and put that in the other values, okay? I'm just doing something on my little phone here for my son. All right. He's talking about something going on at work. All right, so so I typed January in A4, and of course, if you enter, then it brings you down to the next cell, but you need to go back to it. So once you enter it, you go back to it, okay? And when you go back to it, then we're going to do what they want. So they're saying use autofill. Remember that little green square in the bottom right corner of the cell, which right now is right between the left horizontal line and the top vertical line, meaning it's right where my cursor, the middle of my cursor is right now, okay? But that little thing that you just see if you're looking at the very bottom right side of that cell is called the fill handle. So I take the fill handle, click right on it, hold the mouse button down and drag down. If I drag, see I only dragged, I haven't released it yet, but you see February to the right. Drag it again, you see March. Then you see April. They want us to go all the way to 15, and then that's going to be December. When I release this mouse button, every one of those months is here. Boom. See? That's a phenomenal thing. Okay. All right. So that's done. Now, oh shoot, wait, I think I just turned that one off. I got to go back. That's it. Number 4. I can click it from, okay. All right, so I'm now in number 4. So fill the series in the range B5 to F5 using a growth trend with a step value of 1.1. So this is obviously a math thing, which is, again, primarily what Excel is used for, to help businesses figure out where they are, where they might go. You know, it's just all numbers, all calculations for the most part. All right, anyway, so B5 to F5. So here's B and here's 5, and they want me to go from B5 to F5. All right. Now they want me to fill in the series. So you see here it says 85,000. All right. So the only one with something in it is B5. They want C5 and then D5 and then E5 and then F5 to have this value here, but 10% more each time. The first one means 100%. So in other words, they want 85,000 here as well, but then they want 0.1 more. So they want 85,000 plus 10% of 85,000. In other words, they want 85,000 plus 8,500, which would be 93,500 here. Then they want 93,500 here, but plus 9,350, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? All right, so the way we do that is first you select them. So you go from B5, click your left mouse button, drag it over to F5. Now, over here on the, again, we're in the Home tab still, you see this fill, and they're saying fill. So you click the down arrow for fill, okay? And they're saying series. So here's a series, so click series, all right? Now, what series? They're saying rows or columns. The default is rows. Well, this is a row, because I'm going from left to right. If it was a column going up and down, then I would change it to columns, but this is a row, okay? Now, they're saying linear is the default. They want growth, Well, look, right under linear is growth. So click growth. Okay. Now step value. The default is 1, which means itself. But they want 1.1. So I put a 0.1 after that. Okay. So 1.1, and then that's it. Just say okay. Boom. All right. All right. And remember, you got the observe and practice. I don't think I've done it yet, but I may. All right. Use autofill to fill the range D12 to D19 with only the formatting from D11. All right. So here, D12. Oh, wait. Autofill to fill the range with only the formatting from D11. All right. So they want the formatting from D11, which is right here, but they want it into D12 through D19. So basically, what's going to happen is if I take the fill handle, remember the fill handle, again, that little green square. If I take that and click on it, okay, because there's only one number in here, this thing is going to turn to 57.5. This thing is going to turn to 57.5. This thing, every one of them is going to turn to 57.5, okay, which would be wrong. But after we do it, there's going to be a little dialog box pop up, and then we're going to pick that we only want formatting. All right, so watch. Here's the fill handle again. Remember the green square, click on it and hold the mouse down. See how it says 57.5? It says 57.5 all the way down. They said through D19, so through there. See, now it changed all them. So technically it's wrong, but you can't get the answer right unless you do that. So you do that, then you click here, this dialog box, okay, the down arrow, and see, we want only the formatting. So when I now click fill formatting only, then those other numbers that were like 40s and some blanks and stuff are going to pop up. But the formatting, the dollar signs will be there. Where here you don't see dollar signs, you don't see dollar signs, and we don't know what it used to say here now. So fill formatting only, and now it's right. Okay? All right. Next one. Number 6 in module 3. Indent the contents of range A11 through A19 by a single indentation level. Now, this is pretty easy. So A11 through A19, so you select them, right? So you click A11, hold the left mouse button down and drag down, okay? And by the way, I haven't said maybe enough, but when you hold the mouse button when you're wanting to just drag down, make sure you see the white hollow plus sign, like not this and not the fill handle. Here we want the white hollow, that thing right there. Click it, drag, okay? So now I've got A11 down through A19, and they said move it in other words, by a single indentation level. This is your like tab in thing. So this is to increase the indent. So I'm going to click this, and then all of these things will sort of be like you see up here for gross profit and gross margin, gross profit margin. They're in one. So when I click it, these will go in one. Oops, I didn't click it. I don't get this. I don't know what I just clicked, but anyway, this one, yeah, and it moved it in a little bit. Okay, all right, that's number 6, and now number 7. Move the contents. Oh, this is nice, even easier. So move the contents of F11 to A17. See, this is module 3, and this is easier. I mean, I would say what I just did was extremely easy, and this one here even easier. So F11. So here's F. Here's 11. So click it. That says F11. They want me to just cut that. Cut it. Well, gee whiz. I'll control X, but you can do it up here with the scissors, right? Or you can right click and do it. So I've selected that and I cut it. And now they say move it to A17. So now I go over to A, and here's 17. And the way I do it is Control V like Victor, but you can right click and do paste, or you can do the paste up here as well. So this would be the copy, and on the paste end, you want to do whichever one. But the easiest is just your Control V. So Control V. Did that because I was on something else now. Let's see. Okay. Let me click here again. F11, Control X. So it's already clicked, I think. F11. Yeah, I got to go out of it now, because when you sort of stop in the middle, which I just did, it sometimes then it stays where you were. In other words, it doesn't make you repeat the first part, and then I'd rather just repeat everything. So where am I again? So this one again. All right, so F11, and I'm going to say Control X. So now you're getting that little rolling marquee, and then I'm going to come to A17, and I'm going to say Control V like Victor. Okay, done. And all it did was move that text over there. All right, so number 8, the last one for module 3, for me anyway. Copy the values and number formatting, but not the underlying formulas of G15 to I15 into range B9 to D9. Let's see. So G15 to I15. So G, get over here. G15, G15 to I15. G. Here's 15. All right, so here, no, that's that one. Here, G15, drag over to I. So I selected those three. Okay. Now they want me to copy the values and numbers formatting. Okay. So what I'm going to do is move this thing. So I'm going to come up here to this thing here, my format painter, maybe. Can I do it with the format painter? Let me do it with the clipboard to expand it to see what my choices are. No, I don't want that. Let's see this. No, can't do it that way. All right, so that is still selected. See, that's what I was saying before. Like if I do this again, it's going to then say it's wrong. All right, so I've got that. And they want me to go to, get out of the clipboard. They want this into B3 to B9 to D9. So B9 to D9. B9 to D9. Enter, I guess. No, something. Something. Let's just do this one with a practice because it's good for you to see the practice sometimes anyway.
When simply copying and pasting cell or range contents does not suit your needs, you can choose from many available paste options, such as pasting values without copying the underlying formulas. Click and drag to select cells G15 through I15.
So you click there.
This is the source range. Note that although cell G15 displays the value $49,268, that value is derived from the formula =sum, open parenthesis, G6 through G14, close parenthesis, as shown in the formula bar. Cells H15 and I15 contain similar formulas. In the clipboard group on the Home tab, click the Copy button.
Okay, so the copy button here.
Excel copies the source cell content to the clipboard. Click cell B9. You will paste the copied data into the range B9 through D9, starting in cell B9. In the clipboard group, click the Paste arrow. The Paste Gallery opens. In the Paste Values section of the Paste Gallery, click the Values and Number Formatting option. Excel copies the source cell values and number formatting without the underlying formulas into the destination range B9 through D9. Note that the formula bar for cell B9 displays only the value 49268.
All right, so go again. All right, so copy the values, the number formatting, yada, yada, yada. So again, we did G15 to I15, okay? So now we're going to come up here and we're going to copy that. Okay, so copy. And now we're going to come in here to paste. Actually, let me go into now B9 to D9. So B9 to D9 and paste. They said this one here, which is values and number formatting. Okay. All right. So now we're done with number module 1, module 2, module 3. Now I got to go to module 4. And I think I said we were at about 111. I forget the number now, but anyway. So get out of there and then go to module 4. And module 4, let's see how many tasks there are. 30. So if it was 100 and whatever I just said, heck, I forget the number now actually. Anyway, but it's in the 130s range, okay? All right, so now make this bigger. All right, group the October, November, and December worksheets. Then in cell B9 on the October worksheet, use the auto sum, yada, yada. All right, so first let's group these worksheets. The worksheets are down here. So you click B9 and then hold your control and click, sorry, not B9, the October sheet. So I click October, the word October down here on the bottom left side. This is a worksheet. Then hold my control, click November, and keep the control, click December. You probably could also have used shift, but I'm going to do it the way I always do, which is control. Okay, so now those things are grouped. Okay, that means they're grouped. In other words, see, this is, we're showing the October. See, October doesn't have a top on it right here. This is the October sheet, but there's also a November sheet and a December sheet, and we're going to do something on this October sheet, and it's going to then copy it to the November and the December sheet. That's basically what's happening. All right, so far we haven't done much, but we grouped it. All right, now in cell B9 on the October worksheet, I know I'm in October because again, there's no top on it. So click B9, okay? See, it doesn't change. These are still all selected. All right, B9. Use the auto sum to total the values in the range B6 to B8. All right, so over here is auto sum. If I just click auto sum, it's going to put a total right here automatically. It's going to do this, and it's going to say, I think you want that, and I just say enter. So yep, that's what I want. All right, so I did that. Now ungroup the sheets. So to ungroup the sheets, I think I right click, okay? Yeah, ungroup the sheets, okay? And then, oh, I think I unclicked when I was on top of November. So if you do it though, just do it exactly that way and it'll work. Remember, you can replay my video. Just go back to wherever the heck I am, because I don't know the minutes yet, but I'm probably at about minute 40 or so. Anyway, all right, so number 2. In cell B6, enter a formula using defined names to subtract direct costs from revenues. So go to B6, okay? And they want me to enter a formula using defined names. So that means they've created defined names, and they want me to subtract this one from this one, okay? Subtract direct costs. Oh, sorry, subtract this one from revenues. So they want me to do this and then minus this, all right? But to do it here. Okay, so cell B6, I'm in B6. So I'm going to say here equal, okay? And they're not telling me to do a function, so I don't need to do anything, but they're saying using the defined names, and they're saying direct costs is the defined name for B5, and revenues is the defined name for B4. Oh, I said, I don't know what I was saying, but anyway, B4, it's going to be B4 minus B5, but we're using defined names, so it's going to be revenues. And you see revenues pops up, so I'll just double click it, okay, boom. Revenues minus, and then I'm going to type direct, and see direct cost pops up. Double click on it, okay, and enter. All right. All right. Now share the current workbook on OneDrive with user1@cengage.com. So share. Let's see here. There's a share. Share. Where is my share? See if it's under, okay, file share, okay. All right, so share the current workbook on OneDrive with user1@Cengage. Anyone can, okay, specific people, because I want a specific person, okay, and apply. And the specific person is going to be user1@Cengage with a capital U, user1@Cengage. Whoops, make them always do it the way their typing is on these things. User1@Cengage. Okay. So let's say send. Oops, no. See. All right. So first the user1@cengage.com. Just click away. Okay, here I got to send a message. This is going to be the message now. The message says, please approve for distribution. Please approve for distribution. Doesn't look like there's a period. And now I'm going to say send. Ah, why? Or send a copy? No. Ah. All right, let's see here. Let's just do this one with practice as well. I got to get this done.
Share workbooks to OneDrive
to
make collaboration among colleagues easier. Click the File. Excel displays Backstage view. The Send Link dialog box is displayed, where you will specify with whom to share the workbook. The default option is anyone with the link can edit. You want to change this setting. The Link Settings dialog box is displayed with a full list of sharing options.
We want specific people for sure.
The Allow Editing checkbox is selected, and you will accept this setting.
Apply. So
The
I did
Send
that.
Link dialog box is displayed,
And then
where you will enter the email address for
yeah,
the person with whom you are sharing the workbook.
yeah.
Type user1@cengage.com at the insertion point.
So for sure I did this.
Excel will send a OneDrive link to the workbook to this email address.
Yeah.
You can add a message to send along with the email.
Uh-huh.
From the list of suggested contacts, choose user1@cengage.com.
I don't know if I clicked that. Maybe I didn't click that.
Click the Add a Message optional line of text.
Okay.
The line of text is replaced by an insertion point. Type, please approve for distribution at the insertion point. Excel will send this message with the OneDrive link to the email address specified above. Click Send. Excel emails the link to your OneDrive workbook to the recipient, along with your message.
I think that's what I did, but obviously I didn't. All right, so again, file share. Let's see, maybe there's one thing I didn't do. So anyone know we want it to be specific people. And then, specific people. Then I clicked, I think, wait, oh, then apply. And then I put the person, user1@cengage.com, and then click the person's name. Now the message, please approve for distribution, and then send. All right, I know that for sure is what she said. Let's see. Oh, maybe I got to click add a message. No, can't click add a message. Please approve for distribution. Part of it, and then click send. I don't know. I'm certain that's what I did, but that's all right. But I want to end this pretty soon, so I'm going to go on, and you can play that again and obviously do the practice if you need to. All right. Assign the defined name sales 2020 to the range C5 to C13. So here's C5 through C13. All right. So that's that. And they're saying assign the defined name sales 2020 to it. So to get defined names, you go to your formulas. So in formulas, I want to define a name. No, I want to assign a name. So let's see. I've got a name manager. New. No, let's see. Let me start at that part. Define a name is what I want. Define name. So define name. Okay. And the name is going to be sales 2020 2020. Remember, I selected this range first. So I'm in the right range, and they just put the range down here. And then, so that's done, and I just say okay. Okay, done. All right, number 5. So there's 4 more to go. All right, create a defined name for range that using the create from selection. All right, so A4 to E18. So here is A4, and here's E, but they want E18. So now down. So A4 to E18 is that range. Okay, using the create from selection. So again, you got to be in your formula. Create from selection is this choice here. Okay. And using the titles in the top row. So we want this top row. So we say OK. Oh, select the years range using the name box. So now just click on the years range in the name box. So here's the name box. So I click years. Done. All right. Number 6. Save the current workbook as an Excel workbook with project sales as a file name. All right. So file, save as. Say this PC, and we want project sales. Whoops, they want me in the right. It is in documents in there. Project sales. There was a space, then sales. Project space sales, and store the file in the documents. That's in documents. Save. Okay. All right. 2 to go. Number 7 in cell B9. So B9. Create a formula using the payment function to calculate the monthly loan payment using interest. I demonstrated this in the overview video that I did too. It's a really cool function. All right, so we're going to say equal minus, okay? In this case, we need a minus because they're saying they want us to enter a formula with a negative sign, all right? So equal minus PMT, that's a payment function. Open a parenthesis. Anytime you use a named function, I said you don't have to spell it like with a capital PMT. As long as you spell it right, you're okay. And after you type that function name, you put an open parenthesis. Now here are the things we're going to be dealing with. So they're saying now, enter these values. Well, so they want us to enter. The first one is rate. So there's an interest rate and then there's a monthly interest rate. Well, because you normally pay for a loan every month, I'm going to click the monthly interest rate. If they want the annual, they'll tell me once I enter it. So B6, then comma. When you put the comma, type the comma, then it goes to the next required argument, which is N per, which stands for number of periods, which these days is number of payments. Same thing. There's years and months. Every loan I've ever had, you pay every month. So I'm doing the payment period months. All right. All right. Let's see, interest rate and that period. So then another comma. So now I'm on the last required argument, which is present value. The other two I don't need because they have brackets. That means they're optional. So here I want present value. Present value is this first thing, the loan amount. So you click here and then you close the parentheses and enter. Done. Again, you can watch that again if you need to, or hit your observe and practice. All right, last one. In cell C9, so here's C, here's 9. Create a formula using the FV function. So equal FV, open parentheses. Okay, so again, they want here the rate. I'm going to assume they want the monthly rate, right? And then a comma. And now the number of periods, I'm going to assume they want that. So that's number of periods. And then here, the payment is monthly savings amount. That's this one. Okay, and then close the parentheses, enter. Done. All right, guys, that was 32 steps. I know it's a lot, and you have a lot more to do, but please watch that video a few times if you need to. And I'm going to stop now. Have a great